Well, hello, my friends. Welcome back to Natch's Apartment. We are jumping into WCW versus nWo World Tour today. We're going to be paying homage to Ric Flair, which we have not done yet at this channel. I was trying to figure out exactly who I would want to feature in this particular gameplay, and I realized that out of all the THQ and Aki games, basically Ric Flair this is his only one, especially for the American releases. So as ugly and grotesque as he is in this game, we're going to be taking him through the nWo today. Oh, sure, why not? I don't know. This isn't the game I've played the most, but it is one I want to feature here. So we take on Ric Flair versus Hulk Hogan. Again, I've only ever really played this once or twice. Same thing with the other THQ AKI games, Aki games. I'll call them Aki. I know this is more or less an American port, American translation of Virtual Pro Wrestling. So if you can basically play any of those Virtual Pro Wrestling games or the WCW nWo Revenge, you can play this game. You can play WrestleMania 2000, you can play No Mercy, you can play this game all day. Oh, small inside package by Ric Flair. I want to talk about Ric Flair today. Why? Because holy goodness, does he deserve to be talked about. I thought about it the other day, and I was like, what are we going to talk about, Paul? It's just another wrestling game in that series that everyone loves and knows. It's like, well, we need to talk about Ric Flair because of that fucking last match he had. Quote-unquote last match. I don't know why any wrestler ever says they're going to retire or have a last match unless they're dying tomorrow, and they know it for fucking bloody certainty. I don't know why. The movement's a little bit slower in this one. But anyway, I didn't know what stance I wanted to take on it, but I will say this. As a person who's had problems with alcohol in the past, any wrestler, as much as I love them, any veteran who was there for that, who basically stood by and let Ric Flair do that to himself, full well as all knowing basically what he was going to try and do, basically die in the damn fucking ring. It's enabling bullshit. I don't think it's something that we should continue to let happen. It's kind of disgusting when you think about it, especially it's like people paid for that, so literally you're paying to watch a dude kill himself, and it's like, I mean, just all you need to see is the fucking picture of him at, lying on the apron, and it's like, yeah, how did any of you fuckers let this happen? This is a bit disrespectful to a legend. I have no doubt in my mind that he's probably done unsavory stuff in his past, so I'm not going to praise him too much, preach his goodness of the book of Ric Flair, but letting him get to that state and, fall all over himself and just look like that, it's unacceptable.
I wanted to have the comfort of 550 miles between me and that arena. Something could physically happen to my friend, and I would fucking sit there and be there. And it's like,
again, I've said it before, you have an infinite canvas to work with. You have literally anything in the world your mind can come up with. That's what you can do in this ring. That's what you're limited to, what your mind can come up with. I feel you wouldn't even have to make him take a bump in order to have him have a good match. As much as I hate to give praise to fucking their match in TNA, obviously Hogan and Flair were very limited. So having kind of a brawl or a strike fest where you don't have to really, put your body through the ringer would be a little bit more clever. Again, you could hide so much. Think of Stone Cold Steve Austin, goddamn Kevin Steen for Kevin Owens in WrestleMania. Again, Austin can't do much anymore, but they managed to make it look at least a lot better than that Flair match did. And that Flair match could have looked as good as the Austin Kevin Owens one, but you know what? Ric Flair had to fucking get all drinky poo, and it's like he claimed nerves, but it's like, nah, dude, at this point you have a fucking problem. You just want to die in the ring. It's like, no, you're not nervous. You're literally one of the most respected adults in this business, and you're telling me you were nervous. I think you just had a problem walking away. We're not going to have a problem walking away from this particular victory against Hulk Hogan. I was going to say he looks like shit in this game, but Ric Flair does not look favorable either. Here's a classic match, Ric Flair versus a Stinger. Again, things I probably would have just had it end in TNA. Fucking fight Sting there. I understand the love for the wrestling ring. I understand, how hard it'd be to walk away from it, especially, when your body's saying no, you can't, but your soul and heart says yes. Ugh, Scorpion Deathlock right out of the fucking bat. Get to the ropes. Yeah, there. Anyway, yeah. But yeah, it's like, he had a good run in TNA. He had the potential for a couple amazing moments. Looking back on it, yeah, we're all of us upset that he came out of retirement. Yeah, but we all knew he was going to do it, so who the fuck cares? What he had with Jay Lethal.
You know what? Woo! In the ring right now. Woo! 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 Woo!
Top 10 most classic moments when you think about it in Ric Flair's career. You got to give that one in there. Again, I like Ric Flair in the heyday as far as like one of the guys that could have really good brawls. His stuff with Dusty Rhodes. Classic, fundamental wrestling, bedrock, foundational wrestling. It shows a lot more skill than what people have nowadays. Now I'm going to say this in this video. This video is going to be all about wrestling talk. So we praise Ric Flair here, but not to take anything away from modern wrestlers. I think where the whole anti-jumpy jump flipping all around the place comes from is that I feel you lose a bit of the emotional story. The reason these people are competing in this match or whatever match they're in usually foundationally is because they do not like each other. Obviously, you have a lot of wrestling matches, especially in Japan, where it's about respect. But, I mean, by and large, the point of the whole shtick is contention. It's conflict. And when it's so choreographed to the point where you're watching someone standing around waiting for another person to kind of get their flip in or to bounce off the ropes or to jump in a certain way, you kind of, you're breaking that illusion a lot. You're really killing that illusion. Obviously, there's all those types of examples in regular matches too, if people are sloppy and don't know their basics and fundamentals and, footwork and, body placement and shit. It can always look like crap, but I just feel with what happened was the Hardys came onto the scene in the late 90s and they kind of introduced a new formula because, wrestling, you got to stand out, you got to look different than the next guy, and that new formula was jumping, acrobatics, aerial maneuvers, and so everyone got on that piece of the cake. I was trying to go up the rope, that's not gonna work. And so everyone started to kind of up that ante. You started to see more cruiserweights in WCW, people like Rob Van Dam and Jerry Lynn, getting more acrobatic. Obviously there's more influences from Japan, but what you lose, I think, in getting more acrobatic and kind of focusing more on jumps and kind of setting up jumps is, you lose the foundational story, which should be most important, which is why these people in this ring settling a dispute to begin with. What's his special? Woo! Oh, flop! No, oh! Can we take his? What's his? Oh, small package to Sting! Ugh. And a special, I was going to try and steal a special. I guess you can't really, because... Well, Ric Flair with a figure four, though. He'll get to the ropes, won't he? No. But yeah, anyway, like, the foundational story stuff is what you lose. Again, which is why, again, I won't be a proponent for blading, but it's one of those things that blood, gore, any visual aspect of the violence that conveys to the crowd that the level of violence and hatred in the ring is always a benefit. But again, I can see if people are like, but Paul, you don't need to blade. It's like, no, you don't. You don't need to blade. You don't have to have blood. There's plenty other interesting ways to make, the violence in the ring appear more real.
Just takes people figuring it out and actually putting the time into think for themselves to create something new. Just like we're taking the time in the stalling suplex to Sting here. Sting, will that be enough for you?
I wanted to cover him. Ah, wrong button, Paul. Ooh. A slap to the face there. I mean, again, like when you think about Sting, talking about Sting, jeez. Think about Sting and what he's able to do in AEW right now. Again, the infinite ability to create whatever you want on a canvas does not forever inexcuses you from coming up with stupid shit. Oh, power driver. Well, his last stalling suplex will do it. Stalling suplex as we stall the game trying to figure out how to do a goddamn pin. I'm brain farting. Like, why am I not pinning him? Like,
why's my button not working?
but like Sting, like, you know, he comes up with different stories. He helps people. It's like Ric Flair could fill you want to know how it's all about ego. Ric Flair could fill the role that Sting is filling right now. He could, you know, help out fucking people, but it's like, does he know? Why can I not pin somebody? Backslide Sting.
1, 2, 3. 3 count fall.
Like a bitch of a time pinning people. What the fuck is the button for pin on this game? Have to do with moves.
So now Buff is his Steph as he rides his way to Ric Flair here.
Does not look like Buff Bagwell. It's like, like what? This game, I tell you. The fuck? Come on.
Come here, yo.
Speaking of interesting folks the last few years, Buff Bagwell's had a interesting go of things.
In recovery, what you do is you do what's in front of you. What is in front of you right now?
So let's continue this conversation here.
So Sting, you know, he can't go like he used to go. He used to be more of a solid grappler. Now it's kind of more of a spectacle than anything. But again, you could insert yourself into storylines where, you know, you can still be what Ric Flair is. You can still be, you know, as legendary as you want to be, as loved as you want to be by the crowd. But it's like one of those things that's like, ironically, the things you want to do to stroke your ego, you don't need to do, and people will stroke it for you, you know? It's like one of those, Look at all the fucking submissions here. Let's see down. I don't think that's the same button as all the other ones, is it? I feel like that's something that's not a thing in the other games.
Alright. Ric Flair's gonna have the top rope now. He's pissed and figured out finally how to pin someone. Knee to the back of Buff Bagwell.
Fucking one of these things is not like the other. Fucking Sting, Hulk Hogan, Buff Bagwell. You do not belong here. Tap, you bitch. Oh, God. Oh, fucking let go, Buff. You ain't gonna win this one. It's one of those things, though. The more I speak about it, the more it's just amazing to think about how many fucking wrestlers are still fucking... Oh, it's just sneaky clothesline. How many wrestlers are still going that should really be fucking retired now? But again, that's why I feel bad for Ric Flair. Again, Austin, Sting, you know, there are plenty of people that have figured out a way to still be part of the spectacle and not kill themselves. And Ric Flair, for some reason, just has to put himself through the ringer. He has to be like the one who sacrificed the most. And it's like, dude, it does not have to be that way. We love you. Don't hurt yourself for our entertainment any longer. Which, oh, here's a tangent. There's one we can go on. So speaking of people doing shit for our benefit that we need to stop doing here, it's going to be another video entirely, but we'll fucking touch on it here. Jeff Hardy. Good gracious. Okay. Again, I've had my troubles with alcohol. I'm not going to deny that. I don't think anyone who has substance abuse issues should face a stigma. You know, we all have very intricate lives that go down interesting roads. Anyway, Jeff Hardy has given so much of his body, again, like we were talking about. Woo! Sorry. And, you know, he's suffering because of it. And it's like, dude, you do not need to give us any more. Just fucking... You know, hang up the boots, take care of yourself. be healthy. I think what we as wrestling fans tend to do is like kind of with our love for our particular superstars, there's this kind of back and forth dynamic, and we're not, Eric Bischoff really gonna stomp your ass, and we're not kind of holding up our end of the bargain as fans. We need to, let more wrestlers know, and I don't know how to do this, but the relationship between wrestlers and fans needs to change so that wrestlers do not feel this never-ending need to please us or to get a high from us, so that they're ignoring their own personal safety to chase that high or to give us, what they feel we need, or to have this relationship. It's a weird, toxic relationship that's non-consensual in a way that it's like, I don't want you to hurt yourself from me, but I want us to enjoy this thing together that we call pro wrestling. So I think that relationship really needs to change, especially when you're seeing things like Jeff Hardy. Again, whether or not it's a storyline is beside the point. Either making fun of or addressing in a negative light someone's personal demons, I don't like it. It's all that you're doing is basically enshrouding them in a cloud of their, life that is bothersome to them in this moment, and it's not helping. There's one thing to, to be Paul White. Fuck you. You aren't back body dropping Ric Flair, Eric Bischoff. Point in case, Big Show got through the real life death of his father, which happened long before the storyline with Big Boss Man. It was very cathartic for him, apparently. He got through a lot, and he was able to process something emotionally. That's okay. That's good. Okay, that's fine. That's fine if you want to address something like that. But when you're Jeff Hardy in a storyline with CM Punk, or was it Chris Jericho? I can't remember. But beer was spilled on someone's face, and it's like stuff like that. It's like you don't need to address those types of things, because then what happens is you get that awkward exchange between Mox and Austin on the podcast, because again you start believing that people's lives or their demons are up for discussion, and it's not. Let people discuss what they want to discuss. It's like, I'm fine discussing my own issues, but even I can understand how it could be tense, but it's I feel like wrestling kind of has to change, because in a lot of ways it has. Props to WWE for the sanitization of their product in a certain way. But at the same time, all the Saudi Arabia fucking pay-per-views puts a bad taste in my mouth, so there's that stuff as well. As I tell my partner, wrestling will always and forever have, rough edges because of some very, unclean shit that is part of the business. Not that I'm defending it in any way. I would fucking bring that shit to light as soon as anyone wants to talk about it.
Your job is to make people like me laugh, and you're very good at it. With your nappy hair and your suckers.
Wrestling has a lot to answer for after all the years of its history, and every once in a while when a reckoning comes, I'm kind of for it, because there are certain things that need to be discussed and certain people that need to be shamed, and it needs to be made a little bit safer for its participants. And you just think about it, just getting in ground level wrestling, fucking bookers screwing people out of money, and it's like, just that's the name of the game, fucking bullfuckery, and just it's all gambling. It's just gambling, but the currency is trust. I think that's a great way to go about talking about wrestling when you think about it in the long run. Stretch, Eric. Fuck you. That's another one I could talk about. Eric Bischoff here. He's one of those people you want to hate him, but the more I listen to him talk on podcasts and stuff like that, I'm like, he knows his shit. I like to give people the benefit of the doubt, and I love all these podcasts that are coming out, as much as Conrad has his fucking fingers in everything now. I love, listening to Bischoff talks, because it's like, it's again, he's one of those things, because of his character, you want to hate him, but he knows so much about the product and can speak so well about it. And it's like, I just love listening to him talk about it. Same with Jim Ross. Ow. A long elbow. Again, when he's talking about, TNA and kind of his role with Hogan there, it's actually really fucking amazing listen if you listen to it. So I would if I were you. Just give him a little bit of a Flair chant. Ooh. Oh, and a little bit of flop there. Oh yeah, back off there, buddy. There we go. Pile drive. Nope, backslide, motherfucker. Count it, ref.
1, 2.
No! Eric Bischoff is putting on a fight here, I tell you. Yeah, specifically, I would say go find his episode with Conrad. Listen to it about TNA and Hulk Hogan. That was a good episode.
2 count.
Maybe I'll find that and put it in the description. Is it on YouTube? I don't know. I'll find a link or something.
Ad-free shows.
What the fuck? Count it. God damn it.
1, 2, 3.
There we go. There's Bischoff sent packing. Flair has such the fucking wedgies.
Scott Norton now.
Can't say fuck all about you because I never watched WCW. I don't fucking care. We'll just go on tangents again. We're
Talking about wrestling this episode, so that's what we're going to continue to do.
So there's not much to look at in this fucking particular game. It's old nWo on the fucking mat is about it. The crowd literally looks frozen. Oh, there we go. I was going to say, hopefully they move a little bit. Again, the thing I don't like about this game is usually you could kick people in the corner a little bit and they wouldn't just automatically fall the fuck off in later games. Again, this is a little bit beginner one. This is a
Little baby THQ game.
This is why I wanted to get into it today. But yeah, I had a friend who we wanted to do a podcast at one point, just one episode of a podcast that we're going to do. Who do you prefer, Vince Russo or Jim Cornette? And given the two, I'd always rather listen to Corny because fucking, even though philosophically we may disagree on a lot of stuff, he knows the business. You got to give him that. Jim Cornette knows wrestling. He may not have the finger on the pulse like he used to, but compared to fucking Vince, goddamn Russo. Russo has no respect for anyone in the business, and I think that's the biggest thing that sets them apart.
He never respected the wrestling business. He never respected the people in it. He never respected the people that liked it.
Russo, again, it's an ego thing, whereas Cornette, it's just, he's grown out of touch because the wrestling he grew up with is different. And I think that's
Something I'm coming to terms with as well,
but it's like, you know what? It's wrestling is constantly changing. It has different eras. It has different people that grow to love it. I think Jim Cornette has to just realize it's like, cool, that's what you loved, the wrestling you were a part of. That's fine. Other people are just going to like the wrestling nowadays, and that's fine. It's like,
it's a different story for different people as time has moved forward.
Fucking moving forward with an elbow drop on fucking Scott Norton. God, he looks like shit. He looks like Curly. Again, this is one of those nondescript faces, or I don't know who it's supposed to look like. Maybe fucking end me. God, get away from me. You got a special. Don't like it. I do like the music in this fucking game. It's pretty fucking tip. Woo! Oh, I did have a little bit of a woo in the crowd. The animations don't look bad. But, this game, I tell you, is not pretty, by and large.
Stall with Scott Norton here.
That suplex, hopefully, he's not close enough to the ropes to...
1,
Come on.
Ugh! Even gave him the Flair flop chop. Come on now.
Yeah, Cornette, obviously, with the history he's had in this business, he knows his shit. It's this... Again, mention in the comments, what would you prefer? If you had to listen to one podcast for a year, I don't know if fucking Vince Russo has one. God bless anyone who listens to that shit fucking garbage. Who would you listen to in the comments? Vince Russo, who would you rather listen to spout off about modern pro wrestling? Vince Russo or Jim Cornette? I vote solely on Cornette just because I fucking can't stand Vince Russo. He sounds like fucking... I want to put fucking rocks in a damn garbage disposal for an hour solid. About the same auditory experience. Listen to Vince Russo podcast.
Ooh, Mr. Too Sexy, Mr. Big Sexy, Kevin Nash. Oh,
it's too sweet, Paul, not too sexy. It looks fine. Looks kind of cartoony. It's better than Rick.
there's Mr. Kevin Nash here.
About the right height. Same thing with Nash. The more I listen to Nash talk, Nash is one of those folks who knows his shit as well. Again, I like that he came back to TNA and fucking did the whole thing with the X Division there.
Yes, gentlemen, I've decided what you need is two things. A persona makeover, extreme, and a circumcision.
TNA is just such an enigma. And it was like such an interesting playground in its early years for the people that actually decided to bring a passion there. Definitely a way for people to reinvent themselves, kind of like an ECW 2.0, as it were. Rail his head off the fucking... Oh, you can do it this early on? Fuck. Well, Tom, Mr. Natch there. As I check my hair as Ric Flair here. Sounded like something from Doom. But yeah, Natch is another one. Yeah, if you want to listen to anything he says, if you want to learn about pro wrestling, you can make a lot of good choices by listening to anything Kevin Nash has to say about the topic of it. Try and find a seminar if he's had one or something like that. On that note, find fucking Ravens as well. Raven, Christopher Daniels. There's a lot of good seminars out there to watch if you're
an up-and-coming pro wrestler.
That's what I watched when I was limited time I spent in the ring. I watched a lot of Christopher Daniels. He's one of the all-time greats. As is Ric Flair, who we're celebrating today. Celebrating like his daughter every time she's handed something everyone else has to work up the fucking card for. I mean, jokes aside, I mean, Charlotte's a damn good athlete, good worker. A lot of title opportunities, just saying. God bless you, though. She's a good worker. Ric Flair, could you ever do something like that? Nope, I was going to say 1 count. Think about it this way. Ric Flair, Mick Foley. If emotions come to you when I say those 2 names, and you know why, come here, you fucking little bitch.
Jack.
They could have had an amazing feud. They did have at least 1 match in WWE, but I feel that was like one of the last great breaths of Ric Flair's career when you think about it. Because that's the type of old school wrestling story, foundational storytelling I mean. You have 2 people that dislike each other, do not have a respect for each other because of the styles of wrestling that they, are behind. And so Ric Flair says something about Foley in his book. And, you have this natural heat begins to boil, and people become aware of it. You know this kind of rivalry starting, and it's a very passionate subject for the 2 of them. It's their livelihoods. So you have this natural story there that everyone can get behind and understand the dynamics of. And that's what I believe makes a great wrestling match. When the story is so natural and easy for the fans to understand that it's a duh, why wouldn't they fight? And then what happens is modern wrestling, which pisses me off, is you don't have that foundational story. You don't have that foundational, that thing that, fans can see and understand that this match is about. When it just turns into what spots can I get in for whatever spectacle, you're robbing yourself of the fans remembering that organic little seed that you planted to begin with. It's like, don't make it about the moves in the match. Make it about the soul of the match, which is why they're there in the first place, and have your moves based around that.
Oh, God, all the NWO in this NWO feature here. Scott Hall.
May he rest in peace. I love that last little bit before he passed, Fucking hard work pays off, dreams come true, bad times don't last.
But bad guys do.
These back body drops coming to the bad guy, Scott Hall. I feel his hair's a little bit too light. This guy, his hair is not that brown. He looks kind of like Jesus. Oh, it's fucking funny. Oh, get out of you.
Hey, yo, indeed.
Scott Hall is one of those ones. I really wish they do like a bigger documentary about his life at some point. I feel like he had a lot of soul and heart, but it feels like it was clouded by something deep down within him. And I just, again, it could just be the pain. It could have been the fame that brought all the drugs and whatnot. But I feel like there's something in his life, a la like Jake Roberts, that kept him in a spot, and I'd love to know that story. Obviously, again, not wanting to bring up the negative past of someone who's passed, but again, there's love for Scott Hall that was unlike any other unique individual this man was. Also, one of those people that, like, when you see pictures of him, like, 70s and 80s, it's like, holy shit.
Those were a time to be alive.
Scott, ooh. Also, the voice is like, for a deep, You know, he did the Puerto Rican, you know, deep voice, hey, yo, like, so to hear like an animated figure go, ha, ha, like, that does not fit whatsoever. I was going to say that felt unnatural. It's because it was a reversal, that's why. God damn. Now that I know how to fucking steal finishers, it's like, fuck. See if I can give him a razor's edge. Oh, nope. Chops. I was trying to give him razor's edge because I thought I powerbombed. I don't know exactly how I did it. I powerbombed Nash that last match. Back body drop. These fucking NWO pricks I have to go through. Also, I feel like... I was going to say, I feel like that's a NWO Wolf Pack, but it's probably just Outsider's gear. That's why it's red.
Everyone likes black and red. It means you're a bad guy.
Clearly. Vader got it.
Backslide, come on.
Nope, not even a 1 count. Oh, Scotty boy here is going to make me fucking work for it. That's for all the dark topics. I don't want to talk about sad stuff anymore. We talk about the NWO, though. NWO. Okay, here we go. Let's fantasy book NWO and WWE for a minute. I don't know why. It just popped in my head. So I didn't like what they did there. I feel like, what's the point of having a fucking invasive group if you're just going to have basically photo opportunities and no story? Obviously, Scott Hall had his problems and he had to, vacate the WWE not long after they came in. So we're not going to talk about him again. We don't want to beat people while they're down. Everyone's got their fucking problems. Let's see here. I'm going to put in a bubble and say I like the Goldust, Booker T, NWO angle stuff. So I like that.
What the hell do you think you're doing, man?
Oh, just tap out. Didn't expect that.
Ric Flair hits that last little victory on Scott Hall.
Goodness. Title match.
Against Macho Man Randy Savage, the hero of our 40-man battle royal. Thank God I wanted to continue talking about that topic.
Oh, it would have been funny if they had him go, ooh, yeah. Sorry. Ooh, yeah. But yeah, how I would have booked, let's see here. So we have Kevin Nash, we have Hulk Hogan. Obviously the match at WrestleMania X8 stands. That was a fucking good idea. Alright. Let's keep everything the way it was, but okay, let's cut in with Shawn Michaels here. So we got Shawn Michaels, and we got the Big Show, we got... Was Nash in at that point? So either way, let's say it was Big Show, X-Pac, Shawn Michaels. I feel you could have done something there with Shawn Michaels in the NWO. I feel... Let's see, what naturally is there for a story? Okay, here you go. Based on what we had, the NWO. Shawn Michaels comes in and starts causing trouble. Why is he causing trouble? Because, he was the man. He was the flag bearer. He was the champ at WrestleMania 14. And what happened? Stone Cold Steve Austin happened. That's what happened. Stone Cold Steve Austin. And all of a sudden, HBK, good old Shawn Michaels, meant diddly squat to the fucking WWF. Alright, you can say the same thing with Big Show, which is why he's in it. The whole No Mercy thing, fat camp, he was pushed away by the WWE. The fans just forgot him. And he had to do the fucking dog and pony show with the showster and all that shit. So he's pissed off too. So you have this group that's starting to form about people, older stars, that are basically, the fans have turned their back, they've moved on. I feel like that's a good story you could have gone with, instead of just having it there for the sake of fucking being there. If you were going to do something like that, there's a story for you. That's how you at least get that off the ground. That's a free one for you from Nan's Department. What I would have done. Fucking Randy Savage showing what he would have done if he gets in a backslide there, kicking out before even a 1 count. Drill his head down on a mat. Ask a question, answered it in my own head. It's like, why did Macho Man not come in fucking after the invasion? And it's like, well... something Stephanie McMahon. I don't know. You can debate that in the comments. I have no idea what to think about that.
Get up, Macho.
I like his hair in this one. Is it weird that I am all about Macho Man's hair in this game? I just like the way he looks in this one. Probably the best looking superstar so far in this fucking playthrough. The only one actually... I was going to say, if it wasn't for Nash's tights, I probably wouldn't know who the fuck Nash was, but I feel like tights or not, I know who fucking Macho Man is here in this game. I love his little strikes, little spin around.
Get up here, Macho Man. And watch us crush the entire WCW roster and some weird-ass other folk in my Battle Royale gameplay. We take on 40 other superstars with Macho Man. A Battle Royale. See, we fared there. Get up. Get up. Octopus stretching because we're doing so fucking well with that. I was going to say, didn't know. Double under. Oh, suplex. See, again, I think that was a stolen finisher. Don't ask me how I did it, though. I want to get the fucking flop on him. You're just letting him beat you, Rick. Get up. That's right. Pound the mat. I don't care if you're fucking angry. Woo! Woo to the champ, the nWo champ, whatever they're calling him here. The title's about to be mine, though. Oh. Backslide. Joked you. Will that be enough? Oh, and that's it. It finishes off the Macho Man, Ric Flair, in this WCW versus nWo World Tour gameplay. Well, I guess that's all she wrote. We're the nWo single champion, Ric Flair, today. We thank you for joining us, folks. It was an interesting ride, to say the least. I didn't know what I wanted to do here, but we came here to win, and that's what we did. So at the end of the day, that's all that really matters. We thank you for joining us, and as always, folks, we will see you next time.